always fun to tackle a new character. We're honing in on a design, and then what we hope for is that the director, as well as Kevin and the leadership, will say, approved!
From iconic characters to pivotal scenes, the Marvel Cinematic Universe is filled with unforgettable visuals, and they all begin with one team of artists. Andy, would you tell us about the team behind these creations?
The visual development department at Marvel Studios is a unique department in the film industry. It was started by Ryan Meinerding and Charlie Wen way back in 2010. So the idea was to create an in-house group of artists that can work on all the films, knowing that these are all going to be connected films, so that there can be a cohesion and that there's the same people can be working on these films that know it intimately, can work directly with the producers, with the leadership, with the directors, and create this whole universe that has become the Marvel Cinematic Universe. We're designing characters. A lot of times that entails actors in costumes. Sometimes there's CG characters like Thanos or Hulk, creatures as well. We're also designing the look and feel of the Marvel Cinematic Universe through keyframes, which are static story moments, pivotal moments that you see in all of our films and now Disney Plus shows that help define each project.
Now, with the release of Marvel Studios' Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, I want to talk about the world of the Guardians of the Galaxy, which is so unique from the rest of the MCU. Can you take us back to when you first started designs for the Guardians on the first film?
It was a really exciting time because it was really open to the possibilities. We've explored a little bit of what space is in Thor, but now we're going to a whole new section of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Eventually James Gunn came in and really helped solidify like what is this world, and in conversations and as well as iterations going back and forth with him, we really kind of helped create this very unique set, this corner of the MCU. Very fun, the music, the colors, the pulp nature of it, all of that I think was coming from James. He just really liked that kind of pulp novel, sci-fi feel. And we started going through mood boards and looking at different possibilities, reference, and then we start sketching.
So having established that iconic aesthetic for the Guardians, I'd like to dive into the designs for Volume 3. What were those early sketches and conversations like for developing the new characters we see in this film?
Some of the early meetings when we presented our initial concepts of a character like High Evolutionary with Kevin, as well as the leadership, as well as James Gunn, we remind them this is all the different versions that you see in the comic. Then we present our usually 30 options up, it could be more, it could be less, doing the whole range, showing them like these are the versions that are very comic accurate, even though at this point we don't know exactly the story yet. So this is all very early blue sky exploration just to wet our feet and get everyone on the same page. So for any particular character, it's always ideal to have many artists tackle the same character. So speaking of, let's say, Adam Warlock, Konstantin Sakaris, and different artists in the VizDev department were able to discover all these different iterations.
A lot of times what ends up happening, we'll get a booklet of like comic references, and you start to see Adam Warlock's look change. Originally, he had a cape, and he has this sort of like almost Doctor Strange theatrical collar with some sort of skull holding that cape together, and he's got this gold belt. That's the original sort of like look and aesthetic to Adam Warlock. We start to explore that.
And then of course, eventually, once things start solidifying, the story starts being built, and then they hire a director, then we start honing in on what exactly is the tone of the particular movie, in this case, Guardians of the Galaxy.
And what can you tell us about some of the iterations for the High Evolutionary and Adam Warlock?
Adam Warlock's look in the respect of Guardians of the Galaxy 3 now is he's genetically grown by the Sovereign and has to reflect that sort of aesthetic. But one of the major challenges with him was the chest torso area. That area was so specific because everything was a V line from the Sovereign that was established in Guardians 2. And so we were trying to just capture that, but still design it so it still captured the iconic Kirby aesthetic. Early on, we tried a lot of soft looks, and then in the middle process, James Gunn was like, okay, I want to go full-on armored. So we tried like a full-on armored suit where it looked like a spacesuit. He was wearing with like a helmet and a face guard, which was really, really cool. But again, you start to border on the line of like Iron Man, you know, does he look more like a robot than a human being because now he's in this suit? So then again, trying to find that happy medium.
For High Evolutionary, he is the epitome, the apex of intelligence, and he's learned as a scientist to manipulate evolution. And in himself, he has become the epitome of evolution, and you see it in his form. Myself, as well as the team, started tackling High Evolutionary. That was the thinking. We always want to harken back to the comic, but where we're going to land is where James wants to land on the scale of how human versus how cybernetic. You couldn't tell where the man ended and the cybernetic being began. So playing with the disc that you see in the comic, to playing with metals, more cybernetic components, as well as softer fabric. So for many, many months doing all different types of iterations on High Evolutionary. And all of that is explored in all different options of how much of his face is shown, how much is covered with different elements, CG elements. It was a long exploration. Eventually, you really see High Evolutionary come alive, and it's amazing.
How do you know when it's time to put down the pencil on a design, when you can say, done?
In my humble opinion, it's when it looks right, when it feels right, when it's iconic. 90% of the time, what we're giving is what you don't want until we land on that golden design that everyone likes and says, okay, this is it. Now let's refine that, okay, and break that design down.
Looking back at all of this incredible work, what are you most proud of?
I'm still very much a kid about this stuff. And I still get excited when going to the movies and seeing something that I was a part of.
It's truly been an honor to work on this franchise from the very beginnings of Guardians 1 to help visualize what is this crazy new corner of the MCU.
The amount of talent involved here just puts you in a position of just at awe and just respect, and just to even be a part of that team is something to be thankful and grateful for.
To be able to all collaborate and become a team and be able to discover all together what these movies, what these films, what these characters are going to be for a whole new audience. It's been absolutely an honor, a dream come true, and I look forward to the future of what's to come in the MCU.
Well, we have so many more great designs to look forward to. Andy, Constantine, thank you so much. And everyone, go experience Marvel Studios' Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 in theaters now.